What's up, my comic comrades? Another issue of Absolute Batman has dropped, meaning we're right back here to talk about it. Last we left off, in issue 7, Absolute Mr. Freeze was introduced, and it's a terrifying version of the character. If you haven't watched the episode on it, you could do so by checking it out right here before watching the rest of this. With that said, let's get into issue 8. The issue starts off with Freeze dragging Bruce's body as he started to freeze his face at the end of the last issue, while the issue simultaneously jumps back and forth to Bruce talking to his friends, like last issue, as we see Waylon tell Bruce, "Don't even think about running, Bruce. There's no getting out of this one." After this, we see Freeze dragging Bruce to what looks like a cryo-chamber. He then takes a scalpel to Bruce, cutting off his clothes, saying, "All right, Mr. Pennyworth, whatever your name is, let's get you," but Bruce is able to grab Freeze's neck, trying to choke him, but Freeze just grabs his hand and freezes it as he says, "Easy now, easy," as Bruce goes unconscious. He then slowly wakes up, now realizing he's strapped inside of a cryo-chamber, saying, "What?" Then as we see Freeze tinkering with devices around Bruce, he says, "Good, I hope you enjoyed your rest. There won't be any sleeping in the ice after all, the pain won't let you." Bruce looks around and sees other people in cryostasis, as Freeze says, "That's right, look around, you're in high company. There are some of Gotham's wealthiest, members of the Powers family, the Gates. All of them came here at the end of their lives, believing the ice would be an escape, one they could take to find everything fixed and forgiven on the other end. But ice isn't salvation, it's the memory of all we want to forget. It is vengeance." As Freeze pulls a lever to fill the chamber Bruce is in with freezing liquid, he walks out and says, "Bruce, now as your temperature drops, you might feel a burning. Hypothermia scrambles the brain's thermal regulation. It's why so many people freezing to death remove their clothes. Don't worry though, soon the suffering will pass beyond hot or cold. Of course, for the first 30 years or so, all you'll want is death. But after that, hopefully if you're like me, you'll come to accept it, even love it, the pain."
Dude, this series just keeps getting better and better. And you know what else has been getting better? My daily menu. And that's largely because of Cook Unity, today's sponsor. Yes, I've started working on my waistline and have actually switched to a ketogenic diet, which can be pretty tough to follow in our carb-heavy world. But Cook Unity is a chef-powered marketplace that delivers freshly prepared meals that are catered to your exact diet and food preferences. I just answered a few quick questions and Cook Unity gave me a ton of incredible options to choose from. In fact, they sent over several meals based on my answers, and it's not only a great variety, but every meal looks insanely good. I actually already tried the crispy pan-fried Cajun salmon for lunch, and my God, was it good. Chef Andres, I salute you. In fact, he also whipped up the garlic hanger steak meal in my first bag too, so I'm excited to try that one next. So if any part of my story sounds like you, or you just love good food, you gotta try Cook Unity for yourself. And we're gonna make it easy too. Just go to cookunity.com/variant50 or click the link in the description to try Cook Unity for 50% off your first order. They'll customize your menu options to your preferences just like they did mine. And they have hundreds of dishes to choose from with options for every dietary preference like keto, vegan, low sodium, or high protein. So again, just head to cookunity.com/variant50 or click the link in the description to grab 50% off your first order from Cook Unity. You can also use our coupon code variant50 at checkout. I promise you, your stomach's gonna thank you.
All right, on the next page of Absolute Batman issue 8, we're taken to the past yet again when Bruce was still having a conversation with his friends. And we see Bruce slaps away Waylon's hand as he says, "Don't make me hurt you." Waylon responds, "You can try, but if you leave now, you're no better than Matches was." Bruce is like, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" Waylon says, "It means you're a damn coward," and Batman is too, as Bruce tackles Waylon from behind. We're then taken back to Bruce inside of the cryo chamber as his eyes are bloodshot and he's in pain, remembering all the horrible moments in his life. As his thoughts say, every single cell shrieks. There's no room for anything else anymore. No feeling but this. No thought but this. I am nothing but agony. The book then jumps back yet again to Bruce and Waylon as Waylon gets up with Bruce saying, "But I'm a coward, right?" Waylon says, "Yeah, you are. You see, Ozzy told us how you won at Black Mask, jumping on that boat with no way off." Bruce says, "And?" Waylon then punches him in the stomach saying, "And that was a suicide mission, just like this one," referring to Bruce wanting to confront Freeze. We then go back to Bruce in the cryo chamber as we see the tank is filling with liquid and the liquid is getting colder. He tells himself he's running out of time as he reaches for his cast, and that he has to hurry as his skin is on fire, and he then launches batarangs from it into the glass, while saying only get a few tries, burning, freezing, but we see the batarangs are able to break the glass. And all this is intertwined with Waylon talking to Bruce saying what he's doing is a suicide mission, because he can never get past Bruce, your dad going back from him, being the last one in the door. Matches blamed himself for your dad staying out there instead of coming inside with all of us. Bruce says my dad stayed out because, Waylon interrupts saying, we all know why he stayed out there, but Matches felt it was his fault, just like you do, because you got us the trip to the zoo in the first place. All those years he let it eat him up, until he was down to zero, nothing. You're not there, are you? We're then taken back to Freeze, who's on a computer talking to who we could only assume is Absolute Joker. Because as we saw at the end of issue 6, Absolute Joker has been the one gathering all these villains, such as Black Mask, Bane, who we haven't even seen fully yet, and now apparently Mr. Freeze. Anyway, Freeze then says to him, a bacterium that died off 100,000 years ago. Untraceable. In my snowfall, the markers in the crystals. Anyone whose skin it touched should already be fully readable to you. The Joker, or the voice, tells Freeze, we're uploading data, but I'm looking at over 92% of this city's population right now. Coherent genetic profiles. Well done. And no one gave you any trouble over the Malone man? Freeze replies, no one worth mentioning, but Malone was a nobody. I don't expect anyone else to come knocking. Batman then kicks in the door, saying to Freeze, knock knock, as he's extremely pissed off. Freeze then looks at him saying, Batman? Ha, what are you doing here? Batman responds, I heard you like pain, as he lights a torch from his forearm. Bruce then fights Freeze and says to himself, he's fast, and your body temp can't be above 96 yet, still hyperthermic. Blood feels like slush. He's too fast for you right now, so slow his ugly ass down, Batman. As Batman puts the torch to Freeze's face, this stuns Freeze and makes him fall back as Batman's captions continue to say, strong too, ice woven into the muscle tissue, petrified, fibrous. You though, you're still trying to hide the shivering. So we can have Batman go for the nerve bundles. As he uses his cape to attack Freeze. This is one of my favorite things about Absolute Batman. His cape can fully be manipulated like it's a symbiote tendril or something. Batman then says, don't let him get the upper hand, as Freeze grabs him and puts him through the wall. Batman says to himself, rotator cuff shot. I can feel 2 ribs splintering as I breathe. We then get a panel of Waylon picking Bruce up saying, we're not done yet, man, come on up. But we're quickly brought back to Batman and Freeze as Batman gets up slowly saying, that's all you got? Freeze answers saying, nice. Seems you love pain too. You're in good company here. As he presses a button saying, see? Releasing all the other people from their cryo-chambers. Back to the past yet again, Waylon asks Bruce, now I need to ask you something. Do you want to die? Bruce answers, what? Waylon says, you heard me, Bruce. Do you want to die? Is that all Batman is? You back at the zoo, standing outside the door this time? The panels then jump back to Batman as all the people experimented on by Freeze start attacking him. Batman says a sound from inside. Skittering, Freeze calls out to them, tells them I'm here to save them, and before I know what's happening, they're on me. On the next page, we see when Batman punches them, they literally fall apart as one of their jaws goes flying off. Batman says to himself, they're falling apart in my hands, but they keep coming, like they want me to. While we simultaneously see Waylon still talking to Bruce in the past saying, because your dad, he didn't want to die. It wasn't his death that made him a hero. You hear? It was his life. That's the hard part, man, getting through, not letting it crush you. But that's what we do here in Crime Alley. We're survivors. So Batman needs to be one too. Understand? Do you want to die? Bruce just stares at the memorial they made for matches as Waylon asks again, I said, do you want to die? Bruce answers no, as Waylon says, then live. We then get panels of Bruce continuing to get attacked by the Horde Freeze unleashed, with Freeze saying, come on, don't give up now, I'm right here. Bruce then throws all of them off and runs through the hole in the wall that Freeze threw him through earlier, jumping out of the building, tumbling down the side before his cape catches him. Batman then calls Waylon, but it goes to voicemail with Bruce saying, listen, there's something in the snow, something bad. Call the others. I'll fill you in, but Waylon, you were right, and I just wanted to say thank you. We're then brought to Croc's gym as we see Waylon go inside, where 2 men approach him, with one saying, Waylon Jones? He says, can I help you? But then another guy comes up from behind with some chloroform, knocking him out. They then inject something in his arm, and one of the men gets on his phone saying, yep, he's a perfect specimen. Take him to Arkham. And with that, the issue ends, as it says, next, Bane. So we could only assume they're taking him to Arkham to turn him into the Killer Croc. This series, as I say, month after month, is amazing. Next month, we get the introduction of Bane. I'm very curious to see what they do with him. Judging by the images they released already, he's gonna be a massive threat for Batman. But there you have it, guys. Absolute Batman issue 8. Are you liking this version of Freeze and what they're doing with Batman and all of his villains? Let us know in the comments. Other than that, we will see you next time when we talk about all things comics.